Hello and welcome to More Memories of a Forgotten Town, a series of features from the Swindon Cable archive that I produced almost 20 years ago. We're about to take a look at the second series. You may remember that in the first series we viewed images from the past with a short explanation. It had many people trying to guess where the location was and what it looks like in a more modern view. So when it came to producing a second series, we thought it'd be more advantageous to compare the original view alongside a modern view of the same location. So now we are all set, and our location this week brings us to Old Town. I'm in the Lawns, and in fact this would have been at one time the wonderful location for the house, the Goddard family home that stood here, unfortunately demolished in the 1950s. All that remains as you take a look around are the remnants of the walled garden. You can clearly see where the pond once was. And I wonder how many of the Goddard family used these steps up and down to get to their garden from the main house. It is a great park to come and have a wander around though. Have a look back at some of the images from the past as we compare them to those that were taken almost now 20 years ago, as we get underway in Swindon through the years. With the help of the Swindon Society, we're stepping back in time to Swindon of yesteryear. A selection of images then and now from around the town. Our then picture takes us back to 1910 to Victoria Road, built just 30 years before, to link the old town on the hill with the new town in the valley. In our then picture there are no motor vehicles, just horse and carts, and tram lines leading off into the distance. Moving forward in time to October 1999, the outlines of the buildings are the same. The posts holding up the tram power lines have now gone, now tall streetlights tower over the road. Local businesses, though, still continue to thrive. To the roaring 20s, and we're looking along Wood Street towards the Goddard Arms. The manor house and the mock Tudor building were standing at this time to the left of the picture, but are about to disappear by the time of our modern day view. This part of Old Town regularly becomes choked with the traffic of a vibrant modern Swindon. The roads here have been widened since the 20s, and a roundabout helps keep the traffic flowing. To the 1960s, and Old Town's Wood Street looks familiar. There have been few major changes to the buildings, as we're about to jump ahead almost 40 years. The King's Arms Hotel still dominates the centre of the picture. Although many of the small businesses have changed, the buildings still stand, and local pubs are busier than ever during lunchtimes and evenings. This is a picture of the Goddard Arms Hotel taken in 1910. The building was also used as a magistrates' court before the town hall in the square was built. Today, some 90 years later, the building still remains an important focal point. It still thrives as a pub and hotel, the ballroom still used for special occasions such as wedding receptions. The addition of traffic lights shows once again that the motor car has played a major part in the local environment. Here's a picture of one of the lodge houses guarding the drive to the Lawns house, home of the Goddard family. Our picture was taken in the 1960s. It already shows just how run down they were becoming. By the end of the century, it's difficult to remember just how they looked. All that remains is the facade of the two gatehouses at the head of the avenue of trees that leads to the lawns. It's a chilly day back in January 1962. In the High Street, the entrance of the Lawns to the right and the Bell Hotel on the left. The snow is changed for a drop of autumn sunshine in October 1999. The Bell Hotel still remains, although now much changed from the 60s. In the background, one of the buildings has disappeared with the passing of time. Here's a view from 1952, once again showing the Bell Hotel. It was also once a coaching inn and served as a post office. Scurry's mock Tudor building is further down the street, and now collectible cars help to set the scene. Well, it would certainly be difficult to park in the same positions today, as cars, buses and lorries endlessly thunder by. The Bell still stands, but many of the buildings around the Bell have been replaced with more modern structures. Here's a picture from 1910 of one of the most important houses in Swindon. This was the Lawns house and the Italian garden, the home of the Goddard family. Sadly, the house was demolished in 1952 and the area turfed over. The Today picture clearly shows some of the few remains. Posts from the garden. The large trees could indeed be some of the same small hedges that lined that garden. It's difficult to imagine the grandeur of the house that once stood on this site. This is a drawing from around 1845 of the Lawns Mill and Mill Pond and Holyrood Church. Although the buildings have now mostly disappeared, there are still remains of the church to be seen. Our modern view illustrates a different age. When once only drawing by hand could be used to illustrate an image, today video provides us with a tool to capture a moment in time forever. Remembering the Swindon of yesteryear with the help of the Swindon Society. Please like, comment or share on Facebook and YouTube, and look out next time when we travel from Old Town through to Coatwater.